kind of way this is going to work, what I'd like to do first is just have a quick roll call to, have on the record who is present, and Mark will write that down. Then I will read the determination of necessity for for today's meeting, also for the record, and then at the end of that, I will need a separate roll call vote to approve the determination of necessity, and then after that, we'll turn the meeting over to the board members and for nominations, discussion, and ultimately a vote to elect a new chair. So let's go ahead with the initial roll call.
Mr. Blofus?
Here.
Mr. Brewer?
Here.
Ms. Brundage?
Here.
Mr. Eldridge?
Here.
Mr. Haas?
Here.
Mr. Roberts?
Here.
Mr. Royston?
Here.
Mr. Sawyer?
Here.
Mr. Stewart?
Here.
Mr. Watkins?
Here.
Mr. Alexander is absent. All right, Mr. Whitaker, we have a quorum present.
Thank you, Mr. Crocker. At this time, I'm going to read
Who else is on the line?
Wendy, did you check in?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Mr. Blofus, we have Ray Butler calling in and Wendy Garvin from the TSCPA calling in.
Okay, good.
All right. This is the proposed determination of necessity for today's meeting, which is October the 5th of 2012, an electronic meeting of the Tennessee State Board of Accountancy. Tennessee Code Annotated 8-44-108 requires that a governing body which conducts a meeting electronically and without a physical quorum present at the location of the meeting make a determination of necessity as defined by TCA 8-44-108, subsection A3, regarding such meeting. Number 2, such determination and the facts and circumstances upon which it was based must be included in the minutes of the meeting, and that the governing body must file the determination of necessity with the Office of the Secretary of State no later than 2 working days after the meeting. The operation of the Tennessee State Board of Accountancy is governed by the Tennessee Accountancy Act of 1998, located at TCA 62-1-101 and subsequent sections. The board determined that there is a necessity for a board meeting via electronic means prior to its next regularly scheduled meeting, which is to be held on October 18th and 19th of 2012. The facts and circumstances supporting the necessity of the electronic meeting by the board on October 5th, 2012 are as follows. Number 1, necessity exists for this meeting to be held electronically because the members of the board participating in this meeting are spread geographically throughout the state of Tennessee. Further, the participating board members are unable to be physically present for this board meeting due to a relatively short notice period of approximately 2 weeks. Number 2, Tennessee Code Annotated 62-1-105 requires that the board elect a chairperson annually from among its members. Among the duties of a board chairperson are presiding over board meetings, signing documents on behalf of the board, and presiding over formal hearings seeking disciplinary action against licensees of the board. Number 3, board members are appointed by the governor of the state of Tennessee. The board member who served as chairperson for the board's most recent meeting in July of 2012 was not reappointed by the governor. As such, state law requires that the board appoint a new chairperson. Number 4, at the board's next regularly scheduled meeting on October 18th and 19th of 2012, there is expected to be a formal hearing scheduled to be heard by the board in which the state is expected to seek disciplinary action up to and potentially including the revocation of the respondent's license. This hearing is expected to take several hours to complete, and it is anticipated that there will be a large amount of evidence, both in terms of documents and live witness testimony, for the board to consider. Number 5, necessity exists for this meeting for the board to appoint a chairperson to ensure that the formal hearing scheduled for October 18th and 19th of 2012 runs as smoothly and efficiently as possible, so that the costs, time, and effort to complete this hearing are controlled, and to attempt to ensure that this hearing is completed within the scheduled time allotted. That concludes the proposed necessity determination, and this time I'm call for a roll call vote to approve the proposed determination of necessity.
Mr. Blofus,
Yes.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Ms. Brundage, Ms. Brundage,
Yes.
Mr. Eldridge,
Yes.
Mr. Haas,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Royston,
Yes.
Mr. Sawyer,
Yes.
Mr. Stewart,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
We've approved the necessity of the meeting, Mr. Whitaker. At this point, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Mr. Stewart, who is serving as vice chair, to conduct the actual election. Casey, you're on.
Thanks, Mark. I would just like to thank everybody for taking the time to make themselves available this morning for this meeting, and especially welcome our new members. I hope the biographical information that was sent out to everyone was helpful in getting somewhat acquainted so we could talk by phone this morning. Mark, I believe you've had conversation with Vic Alexander, and Vic indicated to you he did not want to be considered for the chairman's role. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and Vic is a past chairman of the board, but does not want to be considered for that role in this election. But with that said, I think we just go ahead and open the floor up for nominations, and so we'll get started here.
Mr. Chairman, this is Bill Blofus.
Yes, sir.
I nominate Trey Watkins.
Okay, we've got the name of Trey Watkins. Is there a second to that motion?
I second that. This is Troy.
Okay, Troy Brewer. Okay, we've got a motion and a second. So Trey Watkins is nominated. Are there other nominations?
Move that they be closed. Royston.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay, so I think
Who was the second?
Gabe Roberts.
Thank you, Gabe.
okay. Now I think we need to have a roll call vote. You want to do that, Mark?
Yes, sir, I will. On the motion to elect Trey Watkins as chair, Mr. Blofus,
Yes.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Ms. Brundage,
Yes.
Mr. Eldridge,
Yes.
Mr. Haas,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Royston,
Yes.
Mr. Sawyer,
Yes.
Mr. Stewart,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
Okay, well, Trey, I would say congratulations. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help you. I think this ends my role in this meeting. I think I need to turn it over to you, Trey, to formally adjourn, or whatever you choose to do as our new chairman.
Well, I would first like to say thank you. It's humbling to have a unanimous vote, and I look to carry forward what Stan has done in the prior term. Obviously, I will be leaning on Mr. Blofus and Mr. Stewart pretty heavily at the executive team level, and we look forward to meeting the new members, obviously, at the next meeting in a couple of weeks. And like I said, I'm just very humbled and appreciate the nominations and the votes. And I don't anticipate there being any kind of major shifts or changes. So we look forward to seeing everybody. And with that, if anybody has anything to add, we can adjourn. But I do appreciate the vote of confidence. I have a comment after we adjourn.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
And this is Casey Stewart. I second that motion.
Who made it?
I did, Don Royston.
Thank you, Mr. Royston. Roll call vote to adjourn. Mr. Blofus,
Aye.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Ms. Brundage,
Yes.
Mr. Eldridge,
Yes.
Mr. Haas,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Royston,
Yes.
Mr. Sawyer, Mr. Stewart,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are adjourned. Mr. Watkins, congratulations on your election. Trey, I'm going to talk to you this afternoon. Are you going to be available?
Yeah, just try myself.